Hi guys, and welcome back to So Sally-O. Today's video is a quick and easy children's train birthday cake tutorial. It's not as difficult as it looks, and I'm going to break it down into an easy to follow step-by-step guide. So you'll need some white fondant sugar paste icing and some gum tragacanth to mix with the icing to make it slightly harder once it's dried. We'll be making the steam here to come from the train's funnel. So you'll just need to roll out 6 or 7 different sized white balls, get some craft wire, you can use any craft wire really, and combine 2 together to make it slightly thicker and do a slight bend at the end, and then just simply push on the balls one at a time, starting with the biggest and ending in the smallest. Next we're going to make the balloons to go on another one of the carriages. So just roll out 3 balloon type shapes, again mix the icing with some gum tragacanth, and then just slot these onto 3 pieces of the wire. You can use thicker wire here and just bend them into shapes for the string. Next I'm rolling out some icing very thinly and cutting into thin strips to make the letters to go on the cake. Obviously you can have the year, the name of the child, happy 2nd birthday, whatever you like. These are tappets and I've done another video on how to use them, so I'll link that down below. I'm just doing Hugo's name and 2nd birthday. I think with the yellow here I am doing the year. So again, just cut out whatever colour icing you want and use your tappets to create the letters and numbers. Next I'm making the funnel for the front of the train, so choose a different colour of icing, roll it out into quite a thick piece and make sure either end has been flattened off, make a hole in the middle, cut a piece of dowel, measure this first and just push it in the middle, make sure it doesn't stick out the end, and that small blue ball is going to go on the top of the funnel. Next I'm making the wheels. I'm doing 4 smaller wheels on each of the carriages and 2 large wheels on the front section of the train. I've got 1 large cutter, a medium and then a nozzle which I'm using to push into the centre of each of the wheels just to make it look a little bit more authentic. You can use any cutters really, anything that's round, just go with it. So next I'm making 2 small presents to go on top of a different carriage. Just create a ball and squash it into a cube shape, and then I'm going to use some edible glue to stick on these rolled out pieces of a contrasting colour to make it look like a little present. And then I'll be sticking into the centre of each of these presents a candle. It was Hugo's 2nd birthday, so we've got 2 candles. So here I'm measuring the length and the width of the lettering, and I'm making some panels to go on each side of the carriages to stick the letters onto. You can use any colours, you can use as many panels as you like. I'm just measuring this out carefully so that it is the right size for the carriage but also for the lettering, and then I'm just making indents in each side. So here is 1 large tray bake cake. This is just a standard vanilla sponge, and I'm cutting this into 4 equal pieces. I'm going to put them on top of each other to make 2 of the carriages. So I'm just trimming off all of the ends to make them as square and even and flat as possible. The sides are so delicious to eat while you're doing this. And you can either make your own buttercream or just use this ready done stuff from Betty Crocker. I'm spreading this on the middle, just a nice even layer, on the top and all around the sides. Bit of a cake fail here, don't copy me. I completely forgot to put my cake in the fridge and let it set and do then another nice even coat before I iced it. But I wanted to keep this footage in to show you what not to do. And mistakes do happen, but actually you can just go with it. So here it's actually quite uneven, so please don't copy me. And my icing is a little bit on the thin side, so I had problems here getting the corners to fold down nicely and smooth in. I didn't really have time to redo it, but because the carriages are all going to be together and there's lots of detail on the cake, I didn't really think it mattered too much. Plus I don't think Hugo was really going to notice. So I've actually just cut out tiny, tiny pieces in each of the corners and smoothed it down. Again, people are probably cringing at this. I'm really sorry, but sometimes you've just got to do your best. So this is a long piece of the same coloured blue icing to go on the top of one of the carriages, which will house the balloons, and I'm going to put some Smarties in there as well. You can see here I've actually stuck on 4 thin pieces of icing on each of the 4 corners of this particular carriage, an orange panel and some wheels. So I'm just gluing this on, edible glue, and chopping out a diagonal piece to fit the corner together, and then literally just push in the balloons on the wire from earlier, and then just pour in your Smarties. You can bend and manipulate the balloons as you like. You can have them higher up or one lower, and then just tip in the Smarties. So next then for the base, because the train is quite long and thin, you can't really use a traditional cake base board. So this is just a normal craft board that I actually had in the house anyway, and then I just cut out long strips of white icing for the track. This is going to be the front section of the train, so you'll need 2 triangles and then a longer piece and a middle piece. Again, do the same buttercream style coating from earlier. So you can see here the back green carriage we've done earlier with the presents on top. There is the blue carriage which has got the Smarties inside, one smaller carriage section which says 2018, and then there's an additional present on there because I had that left over. The next section has been curved ever so slightly. The funnel is in there with the dowel pushed inside, the blue ball on top and the steam coming out, and then the front section is slightly lower and is the triangle. And again, I've just iced this a contrasting colour and put an H on there because I actually had that left over for Hugo, and just some stripes really which are just rolled out, and then the whole thing is stuck down onto the board using some buttercream. So you can do any colours, any name, any date. I will link in the description box below all of the items used. Thanks for watching guys, see you next week.